Hello, everybody. It is a gorgeous Thursday coming near the end of the week. I hope you have all had a lovely week, whatever you've been doing and whatever challenges you might have had this week and whatever fun you might have had this week. And today I would like to talk about communication. I've had a range of different situations and examples across the past week where people have been asking a lot around communication, and specifically the conversation has been how blunt should we be versus how sensitive should we be about the other person. And in my experience in communication, it does you a disservice if you are too fuzzy and if you are unclear and if you are not specific about what it is you're trying to communicate. So sometimes when you're trying to protect the other person's feelings and you're going out of your way to not say exactly what you're thinking or feeling, you're sort of packaging it in a way that's appropriate or easy to be understood or won't offend the other person. Sometimes that means that your communication is actually not as clear and as cut through as it needs to be. And very often your message doesn't actually land with the other person in the way that you need it to. So certainly in my experience across organizations and coaching, working with leaders, working with executive teams, the biggest complaint that we hear about executive teams and leaders is around communication. I've never worked in an organization before ever that said, oh, our communication is exceptional and everyone feels that way. There's always a group of people or an individual or a department or a function that feels as though they're either left out or not in the communication loop, or the communication is too cumbersome, the communication is not clear and concise. So my tip for you when you're thinking about the next conversation you're going to have with someone, particularly if it's going to be a difficult conversation, is just write down the top 3 things that you would like to communicate with this person. What are the things that are the most important in this conversation or in this letter or in this speaking gig, whatever it might be? What are the top 3 things you're trying to communicate? Just write them as dot points and just have them there with you whilst you're having the conversation. So you can also use them to frame up the start of an email that you might be sending out to someone. So concise and clear, 3 things maximum, and be super, super clear about what it is that you're communicating. And don't forget, when you're communicating with another person, it's that other person's responsibility to manage their own emotional state. It is not your job to manage someone else's emotions. In saying that, you don't want to be offensive and you don't want to be rude. At the same time, the other person is an adult, usually, if we're communicating with adults, the other person is an adult who is responsible for their emotional world. The only thing you're responsible for is to communicate in the clearest, most concise way possible. So I hope that helps you out and gives you a few tips. If you are interested in tips like this or any other leadership related conversations, please feel free to inbox me a message. We do a whole range of work around executive coaching, leadership development, and team building, and would love to help you out in these areas. Talk soon. Cheers.